All right, kiddos. I hope you guys are doing well. I want to thank those of you that are actually watching this just like I told you to do. You will do well in the long run because you can follow simple directions. All right. Today we are going to be talking about trade skills. Trade skills are something I am familiar with. I went to a trade school. This was about 20 years ago before I became a teacher, which was actually only about 4 years ago. But anyway, so I am very familiar with trade schools. I actually took vocational school in high school, so again, I'm familiar with about 3 different trades, and it is definitely something that is in your best interest to learn about if you are not interested in going to college. So we are going to go through this right here. Trade skills, careers. So first off, let's see. No, the 411, I should have gone through this in class, but next week there's no school on Monday or Tuesday. All work, including all the formative and summative exams, it must be completed by December the 10th. All right. Semester exams are going to be Tuesday, December 14th through Friday, December 17th. And let's go ahead. So again, we're going to, a lot of you are going to find this useful because, again, a trade is a great way to go if you don't want to go to college, but you want to have something specific that you can depend on to make a living, all right? So, again, after you get out of high school, unless you win the lottery, marry somebody rich, or have your own version of GTA going on, you're going to need to get a job, okay? If you do end up marrying someone rich, my first request is that you pay off my student loans. But after that, and same thing if you win the lottery. But, you know, other than that, you're going to have to get a job. Okay, that's just the way it works. All right, so while some of you will go on to college, there are the rest of us. I was one of those included who can go into a specific trade. All right, so what is a trade education versus a college education? Well, trade education versus college education, that is a hot topic for debate. A lot of what is better depends on who you ask. And in my view, a lot of it is just based on your own life experience and what you would like to do with your own life, okay? You are very blessed in this country that you are offered both types of education and you are offered those opportunities, okay? So college versus trade school. Here are, let me move myself out of the way. Here are some specific ideas about it. College versus trade school, length of study, average cost, what you'll earn, and ideal for someone, you know, based on their personality. But we'll go into a little more of this here in a second. All right. For instance, a trade education, it's more skill based in a specific area, whereas a college degree, depending on the degree, is more broad. For instance, like my degree from college is in education and I'm a teacher, so I would consider that more specific. However, say you were to get this degree from UNLV, a Bachelor of Science in Business Administration and Management. That is a very broad degree. It's a good degree, but you could be a manager at a company. You could go into finance. Granted, it'd be better to major in finance, but you could branch over into finance. You could go into real estate. You could run a business. You could be a casino pit manager. One of my casino pit managers had a master's degree in business administration, okay? So it is a very broad degree that gives you kind of a broad set of skills that aren't specific, okay? Hopefully that I'm communicating that clearly. And again, but trade schools, they give you a more specific skill set towards something. Let me move myself out of the way. Towards a specific job, okay? So these are trade school, vocational school. Those terms are going to get thrown around. They're basically the same thing, all right? So, for instance, trucking, bookkeeping, being a veterinary tech, food services, all of those are specific trades. So the benefits of a trade education, it is less cost, a lot less cost than a college degree. Less time in school, usually it is 2 years or under. The surgery tech program I went to was only about a year. It was more intense, but it was about a year. Specific skill set, you get the specific skills you need for that job. You're not going to be sitting there going, when are we ever going to use this? Because the skills you get are specifically for that job or trade. They usually have apprenticeships or on-the-job training. For instance, again, going back to surgery tech, when I did that, I was in the hospital 4 days a week at the latter part of my training, working in surgery, specifically on the job, okay? And in my experience, the trades, they are more necessary to society, because you can take somebody who has, say, a college degree in communications. They don't have any per se specific skill set. That's a broad thing. But if you take somebody who is a plumber or an electrician, they are very necessary to society, as far as what people specifically need and needs, day-to-day needs. All right. So hopefully I'm also communicating that kind of clearly. In other words, society relies a lot more on specific trades than it does on various college degrees. All right. So an example of a specific trade, again, I'll just use the one that I went for, would be a surgical technologist. So that is what I used to do. I used to be this person here who hands the surgeon or the surgery assistant their instruments, and you're basically like a surgery assistant, okay? This was not the specific program I went to. This one is in Moberly, Missouri. The program I went to was in Columbia, Missouri. But this is the degree I had, an Associate Applied Science in Surgical Technology, okay? Now, this is the local program for surgery tech here in Nevada, or here at College of Southern Nevada Surgical Technology Program. You can actually get these different types of jobs right here with a surgery tech training degree. But what I want you guys to pay attention to is that if you look at how specific these courses are, again, I had to take anatomy and physiology, medical terminology, specific sciences, and then we had a little bit of a different type of program where we learned more about the instruments and stuff like that as well. But basically, as you can see, these are very, very specific courses that are geared specifically towards this trade. In other words, they're not just generic overall courses like you take a lot of in college. All right. So as far as cost goes, trade education versus college cost. Now, if you go into the cost for a CSN program, College of Southern Nevada is, for lower division cost, $109.75 per credit. So if you look at the CSN degree, surgical technology, that's 60 credits times 109.75. That's around $6,585. Granted, it is going to cost a little more than that. We'll just round it up and say about $7,000. Okay, so for $7,000, you can get trained specifically to be a surgical technologist, complete this program, and then you get out of school, you're already trained, you can go in and get a surgery tech job and start making the average salary, which was mentioned in here somewhere. When I started in, oh my God, it was so long ago, 2005, I made $17 an hour, so it's probably closer up to around $30 an hour now. So that is the average cost or average hourly wage you would make as a surgery tech. So yeah, it's probably about 50 grand a year. That's not a bad living. All right, specifically considering you only paid like $7,000 for that training. All right. Now, if you go over here and you compare the cost to going to UNLV for 4 years, UNLV for 4 years, let's see, for a yearly cost, that is $8,893. You're going to multiply that by 4. This is for a bachelor's degree. And you come out with a cost of around $35,572. Definitely round that up because there are a lot of extra costs. So you're going to pay around $40,000 to get, say, this degree right here, Bachelor of Science in Business Administration. Sorry, I totally went to the wrong page there. But pretty much what I'm saying is you can see the difference in the two costs. So this over here, UNLV, you're not given a specific job unless you could get an internship or something with a business. But this over here, this is your trade job. You are trained in a specific skill set, And it is, in my experience, a lot easier to get a job with a trade education, okay? Again, there's pros and cons to both. You just got to figure out what's best for you. All right, next thing. I have a lot of students who like to simply just skip ahead to the assignment. This is going to be your evidence that you actually watched this video, or someone did and then they told you about it. So this is your Easter egg evidence, just like Easter eggs in video games. So yes, you can go to trade school to become a clown. I am completely serious. I looked this up. So this is the link right here. It's the clown school. You can, I don't know how much it costs. It'd be pretty funny to find out. But yes, you can go to clown school. All right, so that is the answer to one of them. There's pros and cons to every trade. Some of them, being a surgery tech, I was exposed to a lot of blood and gross stuff. I remember the first time a patient pooped in the bed, stuff like that. First time a patient threw up on me, and I remember it went down my scrubs and into my shoe. But there's a lot of pros to it as well. I always had a job, and I had a specific skill set. Any job that you look for, there's always going to be pros and cons. There is no perfect job. If you find one, let me know, but I've had a lot of jobs, so I feel very, very comfortable telling you that. All right, but this video right here, if you want to watch it, it gives you the pros and cons of what this person's view is of the 10 best trade jobs. Specifically, or like right here, he's talking about welding, okay? All right, so that can give you that. What your assignment is for today, you guys are doing that right now. Let me flip over here to tell you about this. So as far as this goes, what is a trade job or career? Just answer that best you can. You should know that from what I told you earlier. What are the benefits of a trade education over a college education? Again, I just went over that stuff. What was the Easter egg? I just told you that. List 2 trades. Now, here's the thing you're wondering, well, what the heck are you talking about? Well, down here at the bottom of this document, I put in a list of 51 trades, and I also put in links to 3 different schools here in Las Vegas where you can get trade career training. Granted, you could also put CSN on there also, so I'll just type that in there. But CSN does have a lot of trade training as well, although you can also get a regular associate's degree there. But I want you to pick two of these careers or trades out of here and plug them in up here, or you can list some possibly on there that I do not have. And I know some of you are going to be like, well, I don't see anything I like. Well, pick 2 of them that if you absolutely had to pick something, you would do, okay? Now, using either the schools provided, which are the ones that I have down here, or any other school that you find, because I know a lot of you guys want to go out of Las Vegas when you graduate, I want you to find a program for your specific trade. All right, so for instance, let's say that I went back to Missouri and I went to surgery tech school. Okay, so I could just go and find any surgery tech program in Missouri. This one is Rolla Technical Institute. There is the surgical technology program, specifically right there. So I want you to go and find a specific program for the trade that you pick. Pick one out of your 2 trades right here. Find your accredited program. So, for instance, find this one, take a screenshot of it, plug it in, or you can type the name of it in. All right. What would be the estimated tuition of your entire education or training program? Again, you should be able to find that in here for your specific one. Just go and look for the tuition. So put that in there. What is next? Let's see. What would be the pros and cons of going to your trade you chose for question 4? So think of the pros and cons. I'm sure you can come up with some of those. Google them. Whatever you need to do. Now, I want you to find the average salary of your chosen trade. For instance, mine, again, I'll just go with. Now, I actually do know this from what I did earlier, but surgery tech, average salary, surgical technologist, Kind of looks like it's like a lot of things. It depends on where you live, but I'll just go with this right here, and then I would use my snipping tool and save that, or you guys know how to do that. And I want you to insert it in here, and then make sure you run a spelling and grammar check, okay? And then you submit this, and that is the end of this assignment. But again, I know that you may not particularly be too excited about trade education, but it's definitely something that is worth your time to learn about, because again, college isn't for everybody, and there's nothing wrong with a trade education. There's actually a lot of benefits to it. I went to surgical tech school, but I also went to this school while I was in high school. I took automotive technology as a trade, and I also took residential electricity. So those are 3 different trades that I was able to get trained in with technical/trade education. All right. So anyway, that is your assignment. Go complete it. And if you have any questions, let me know. All right. Have a good day.